All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our webinar Wednesday today. We are here with David Katz to do a wonderful webinar on some activities for summer. So, David, if you'd like to take it away.
Hi, everybody. Good evening, or perhaps good afternoon. My name is David Katz, and I am here at Camp S'more today. And we're going to do some summer fun activities for now and also in the fall as well. Let me tell you a little bit about myself first. I am a teacher in the state of Florida. I have been at the same elementary school, Braden River Elementary School, for 19 years. Actually, I just finished my 19th year because we are on summer break. Yay. So I wanted to spend some time with you today to talk with you about some meaningful activities and some fun activities, because I think that kids, if they're not having a good time, they're not going to learn really well. So I think those two things can definitely be merged, quality and joy and fun in music. So I want to start today by taking you to my PowerPoint. I have a PowerPoint and I also have a handout attached to this as well. So I'm going to share screen here now, and I'm going to move over to that. All right, and there's my very messy very messy desktop there. There we go. Okay, so first of all, let me get this started here. There we go. So Camp S'more. You'll see at the bottom there is my email. Please feel free to email me with any questions you have about the presentation today. It's wonderful in this age of great technology to connect with friends throughout the land, as they say. So I look forward to hearing from you and learning about your various situations of teaching and opportunities. So let me just go through with you really quickly what I hope to cover today. So of course, these activities that I've created, I hope are engaging for you. I hope they work for you. I have some videos today of my own kids at school doing some of these activities because I think they need to work for real live human beings from about the age of 5 to 11. In this case. So I want my kids to, in each class, to try to sing. I want them to play instruments. I want them to move. I'd like them to have some improvisation experiences. These activities today, I don't focus as much on the movement, but as you'll see, there are plenty of opportunities to add that in. And I can talk about that also in the Q&A afterwards if you'd like. But play a variety of instruments with various accompaniments, sing using correct technique. And what I'm talking about when I talk about that, because I know culturally there are different philosophies of what correct technique is. Even in the United States, the difference between singing technique in musical theater and singing technique in opera are going to be two different things. But I'm talking about what we typically think of as that beautiful choral sound that young voices make, light and gentle, top down, tall vowels, that sort of thing. There's one particular activity today where we spend some time on strong and weak beat and exposure to triple meter, not exactly analyzing triple meter, but the exposure to it. And I think one thing I saw when I was doing my lesson planning with the docs in Musicplay is one thing is there's an emphasis on exposure first, experience first, and then kind of digging in. And I've really taken that to heart in a lot of my teaching in the last couple of years with Musicplay. And I'll talk about that more if you come to my webinar in August on that. Another thing that I've really become a big fan of, or a big believer, and I should say more appropriately, is this idea of audiation, inner hearing, as it were. So I really think that when human beings start to hear in their brain, it is then that they are going to be able to replicate well, whether it be with the singing voice or even the playing of instruments. I think until they can't, until that happens, it can really be a struggle. So I have some ideas for that for you today within the framework of camp, summertime, fun, beginning of the new year stuff as well in August or September. And of course, the idea of reading. We want our kids to be able to read. We all have different emphases on this, I think. But I start with rhythm, and then eventually I move into my melodic. Well, my melodic is more contour, and then eventually moves into formal reading when I get to third grade, when I hit that hard with recorders. But moving on. So, this is camp and this is fun. So you can create your own indoor camping experience, and you can make your own little fire there, and you can make your own little cute little scouts there. You can use those little pictures that you get from the photos that the kids take at school. And if you want the template for those scouts and the information on that fire, it is in the link is in my handout that you can get. And I also suggest, if you're going to do a little camping unit for a little camping fun, you'll see today I chose a virtual background on my Zoom, but at school, think of going to good old Teachers Pay Teachers. And they have a ton of different campfire types of backgrounds for you to do for a little bulletin board, a little fun there. But onward and upward, I'm going to take a drink here, and I'm going to get into our first activity. Our first activity is with the song "The More We Get Together." Now, one thing that I like to do is I really like to spiral. We are very, very lucky, I think, as music teachers, that many of us get to loop, as they say. We loop sometimes for 6 years, K through 5. And so I like to introduce an activity in, say, second grade or third grade, and then bring it back with a different kind of spin, with a different kind of goal, as it were, in fourth grade. And that's, that can be a really rich experience because the kids already know it in one way, and then you bring it in another. So the comfort is already there. So I'm going to show you this first activity today. That's a nice camp song, "The More We Get Together." And interestingly, this is one that you can also do at Valentine's Day too. I've done this one at Valentine's Day as well. So if you don't know the song, I'm just going to play this for you real quick. You can find this on Musicplay. I think it's in grade 2.
The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be.
Now, I'm going to show you something very cool if you don't know this about Musicplay. I'm going to show you how one of the first activities I do with this with second grade is I do little body percussion in small groups to show strong and weak beat. Well, that's a very, very fast triple meter. So if you don't know this, and by the way, you can also do this on YouTube videos, there's a little gear setting here. And if you go and click on that and you go to the speed, if I brought it down to 0.75, just a little slower, now I'm going to play it and you'll hear the difference. You can sing along with me at a slower speed here.
The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we get together, the happier we'll be.
A nice little moment for improvisation if you want to do that. But I'm going to focus here on the idea of three beats. So the first thing I try to do is I want to show my second or third graders today this idea of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The idea of triple meter can be a little bit difficult. I think kids tend to feel things in duple, 2 or 4, a little more than triple. So the first thing I'll do is I'll slow down that song once they learn it, and I'll do it on the table here because you can't see my knees. We can do pat, clap, clap, pat, clap. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. You get the idea. And then what I'll do is I'll ask the children to go ahead and come up with some suggestions for 3-beat patterns. And I will tell them beat 1 has to be different than 2 and 3. I want beat 1 to be different so they can give that one a little bit more oomph, a little bit more accent. So that's the first thing I do. I go ahead and I make sure I sort of load the activity with suggestions. Because when I go next, which will be my next point, is if I go to put them into small groups, some small groups are going to be able to come up with their own 3-beat pattern, but some groups are going to struggle for whatever reason. And so I want everybody to be successful. So what I say to the kids is, my first choice is, I'd like you to come up with your own pattern, but if you can't, that's okay. It really is. You can take either you can do pat, snap, snap, or pat, clap, clap. If they can't snap yet, or they're not comfortable doing that. Or you can take one of your friends who just made the suggestion, or you can come up with your own. So I want to show you real kids, what they came up with once we came up with this idea of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here is the boys group. I'll show you the boys group and then the girls group. They self-chose their groups. I did not choose that for them. I think they should be able to choose their friends. So here is the more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. So that's the first group, and that is 3rd grade. And you could do this with 2nd or 3rd. And here is the girls group, and you could see there's just slightly maybe better coordination or whatever, but I'm not about that. I'm about feeling successful and feeling good. And I thought these kids did a great job. You can hear them singing in the background. The reason why I'm singing so loud is I've got the iPhone so close to me. So it sounds like I'm just overwhelming them. But in reality, I don't think I was quite as much. Anyway, here's the girls. Same class, different group. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Good job, girl. Aren't they just adorable? So that is the more we get together. Now that would be like 2nd or 3rd grade, but now I want to spiral this activity. And I mentioned in the PowerPoint about the importance of audiation. So let me go back to that. I don't know, I kind of lost what we were doing there. Yeah, audiation. So what we're going to do here in grade 4 is we're going to audiate chord changes, actually tonic and dominant, while playing rhythms in music play along. So let me show you both pieces of this and what I mean by this, okay? Let me take myself out of this, and I'm going to go to here. Okay, so the first thing, actually, no, before I get there, I'm going to go back to, let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I'm going to go here. So this is the animated play along that is provided in Musicplay. You can see it's Valentine's theme. That's why I mentioned Valentine's Day. Now, one group, and you'll see this in the video I'm going to show you, is going to go ahead This is fourth grade, by the way. One group is going to play these rhythms with rhythm sticks. And I'll just briefly show you this. I don't have to show you the whole thing, just to give you a sense. So eventually you're going to see half the class play these rhythms. I think we get the idea there, yeah. And then the other half is going to work on audiation with harmony. So let me pull that up and show you what I mean. So this is how I chose to do this. The more we get together, the animated play along that I just showed you happens to be in the key of F major. Okay, so F is your tonic and C is your dominant. And I want the kids to be able to hear and eventually maybe even anticipate tonic versus dominant. I actually went ahead, and unfortunately, I did not take a picture of this. You can see it actually, though, on the girls when in second and third grade when they were doing the more we get together. You can see it on my bullets on my staff board in the background there if you want to go back later. But what I did was I related the strength of chords to a baseball field. So I made tonic home plate, and I made first base. I made it dominant because I said most players, if they're going to get on base, they're going to get to first base. And tonic to dominant is the strongest relationship that we have. And maybe subdominant or the four went to second. It wasn't a huge lecture. I mean, these are fourth grade kids. I don't want to overwhelm them, but I just want to show, them to understand that there is a relationship with these chords. But really, my number one goal is for them to start to hear what is underneath the melody, the harmonies, because I think when they start to sense the whole structure, how the rhythm works, how the harmony works, how the melody works, they understand that music, the way music is set up, is a whole spiral structure, and they can listen for these various components. This is a huge process that takes place over many years. As an adult, as a professional musician, I'm sure you perhaps might feel yourself that this is still an ongoing process, but this is how I did it. I was very old school. I just took some Post-its. I rearranged my boom whackers. I happen to have them against the wall like this with Velcro, and I showed them how it works. And then they knew that each student was going to get in one hand, they were going to get a green F for the tonic, and in the other hand, they were going to get a red dominant or 5 for the other hand. Half the class was going to do that, while the other half of the class did the rhythms that I just showed you for the more we get together. Then they would switch jobs so that they had the experience of doing both. So this is fourth grade. Assume they would have had the body percussion activity in second or third. Perhaps third would be more appropriate the year before, but this is the result you get for the fourth grade version of this. So you can see the kiddos in the front have the rhythm sticks. They're looking at the Promethean board, which you can't see, which has the play along. The kiddos in the back, you can see they have this one particularly, she's got a green tonic in one hand and the dominant in the other. So here we go. You can see what happens. So you can hear So I think there's probably more entertainment in watching this young lady right there than anything else, right? She is just so excited. And you'll see from a pure management standpoint, just this is just kind of a David thing. I already have the sticks out for every kid. That way, when they go to switch, we don't have to switch sticks. We just have to give the boom whackers to the friends in front who haven't yet had that chance. So that's just a little classroom management thing. So that's a great spiraling activity. It covers so many standards. It's definitely a camp song. So in talking about audiation, let me go back now to my PowerPoint. And this is a very important thing, I think, for developing good singing. So singing basics is something I spend a long time on. So one of the things I wondered as a young teacher was, how do I get kids to sing around? How do I get kids to sing in parts? It just seemed overwhelming to me. And I did some reading and a lot of experimentation. And my conclusion was, like anything else, there is a process. So I want to take you through that process today, from unison singing to singing a unison song with an ostinato, and then finally singing into a round. And the great thing about Musicplay is there are so many good, tested resources for this. So this is like I said it's like a grades 2 through 5 activity, right? Because that never ends. It starts in kindergarten with matching pitch and goes from there. So Going on a Picnic is a great song. I love this song. So I'm going to take you through that here. I'll just play it for you. I'm sure many of you know these songs, but I just want to make sure if we're talking about something that we know we're all kind of on the same playing field here. Hang on just a second, pardon me. And we're going to do, let's try that. And let's do this. There we go. Okay, so this is Going on a Picnic. Now, I love this song because it's short little phrases. And even the kids who maybe feel a little intimidated at singing just don't really feel too intimidated with this song. It's fun. So the joy of it, I think, eases the stress. And I think just the shortness of it and the participatory nature and the teamwork effort of it, it's great. And you'll notice with the video, by the way, some of the kids don't sing necessarily on pitch. Some of them almost speak it, but I look at that as they're not there yet, but they're getting there. And you'll see some of that development in the video I'm going to show you. But here's the song first. Sing along with me.
Going on a picnic.
Going on a picnic.
Leaving right away.
Leaving right away.
If it doesn't rain, we'll.
If it doesn't rain, we'll
Stay all day.
stay all day.
Did you bring the hot dogs?
Yes, we brought the hot dogs.
Did you bring the?
Yes, we brought the soda.
Did you bring the?
Yes, we brought the hamburgers.
Did you bring the?
Yes, we brought the sunblock.
Going on a picnic.
You get the idea. So this is a great song for reinforcing pitch, expression, phrasing, and just general good feeling. It's a great song for the summer. So these are my adorable second graders doing this. I love this group. And you'll see, I call them my 3 amigos. There were 3 boys in this class and the rest are girls. And when it comes to them, you're going to want to adopt these kids, but you can't because they're my kids till 5th grade. Sorry about that. I love those guys. But here we go. So you'll hear the varying abilities of singing too, especially with the first couple of ladies here. So here we go. Going on a picnic.
Picnic,
Going on a picnic,
leaving right away.
leaving right away.
If it doesn't rain, we'll
If it doesn't rain, we'll
stay all day.
stay all day.
Did you bring the coffee?
Yes, we brought the coffee. Going on a picnic,
Going on a picnic,
leaving right away.
leaving right away.
If it doesn't rain, we'll
If it doesn't rain, we'll
stay all day.
stay all day.
Yes, we brought the ice cream. Going on a picnic.
Going on a picnic.
Leaving right away.
Leaving right away.
If it doesn't rain, we'll
If it doesn't rain, we'll
stay all day.
stay all day. Did you bring the sweets?
Yes, we brought the sweets. Going on a picnic.
Going on a picnic.
Leaving right away.
Leaving right away.
If it doesn't rain, we'll
If it doesn't rain, we'll
stay all day.
stay all day.
Going on a
So they love that. And it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. I think it was one that they asked to do the next week as well. They just said, oh, can we do that again? And I said, all right, if we've got some time at the end of class. And of course, I made time at the end of class so we could do it. But it was great. So the question is where do you go from there, right? What are some activities that could reinforce this? So I didn't record anymore, but I wanted to show you a few that are in Musicplay, and this is the genius of Musicplay. There's so many different ways in which to teach the same concept. And if you've been teaching even a little while, let alone a long time, you can get a little stale, right? You can get a little bored. You go, I want to teach this differently. So this is a great example of audiation, and you'll notice this is something that classroom teachers can do and teach the song Swimming. There's a full video of it, I believe. And then here's a video where the kids, quote unquote, fill in the blanks, where they're going to use that inner hearing to fill in the pitches for those words that are accompanied, but they don't have the melody. So just take a listen to this. This, I believe, can be found in the camping unit in under units in Musicplay as well. And I've got all that in my handout as well. So
Swimming, swimming in my swimming pool. When days are hot, when days are cold, in my swimming pool. Breaststroke, side stroke, fancy diving too. Don't you wish you never had anything else to do but in my swimming pool? When days are hot, when days are cold, in my swimming pool. Breaststroke, side stroke, fancy diving too. Don't you wish you never had anything else to do but when days are hot, when days are cold? Breaststroke, side stroke, fancy diving too. Don't you wish you never had anything else to do but
you get the idea. Eventually, we keep pulling away more and more words to really encourage that. There's lots of ways you can do, the song. You could just say, hey, let's just do this word swimming, or, I like the way this is done. I think it's accessible. You don't want to make it so hard, like only sing on the word in. I mean, it may be fun for the kids to do, and they may get a good giggle out of it, but the goal of getting them to hear it may not be there. So you got to be kind of careful with that. But we have a good time with that kind of stuff. And so I want to take you to the next step. So here they are, they're fully audiating now, they're singing on pitch. What do we do next? I think before we take them to a round, that can be kind of tough. So I think, and how to teach a round, that's a whole webinar for another day. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do how to teach rounds. But before we get there, I really find that ostinatos are sort of the medium ground between unison and hearing inside in unison and that round. And I love this song. I Love the Mountains. It's a great song for summer and for fall, depending where you are, where you live. We long for the mountains here in Florida. But in any event, this song is great because it has both an ostinato and a round. So think about that. You could do the ostinato in third. You could do the round in fourth. And in fifth, you could try to put the whole enchilada together and do it for a concert. you've got yourself a performance piece now. So let's listen to this. This is I Love the Mountains.
I love the mountains, I love the rolling hills, I love the fountains, I love the daffodils, I love the fireside when all the lights are low. Boom de-yada, 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 boom de-yada.
Okay, so I stopped it there. Sorry, a little prematurely, because the boom diata, let me get to that here. Yeah, the boom diata, that's the ostinato. Boom diata, 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 boom diata. So let's hear what that will sound like with the melody. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this. If you just want to have the kids go ahead and sing the boom diata while you sing I Love the Mountains, you could do that. That could be kind of hard. I like to play the boom diata on the piano while they sing it, and then I eventually pull away the piano. I play piano pretty extensively though. If you're not comfortable with that, there's lots of ways to do it. You could play the F, the D, and then the G, and then the C when it comes at the right time, just to kind of guide them if you're not real comfortable. You could also have the kids, you could have some of the kids play that on Orff instruments while you have the other group sing, or you could have them all play it on the Orff instruments while you sing the melody. It's all about how you want to do it, right? So many different ways. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to sing the ostinato against it. I would encourage you. And remember, if you find the speed to be too fast, you do have your gear there to slow it down. But I'm going to keep it at 100%. So I'm going to.
I love the mountains, I love the rolling hills, I love the fountains, I love the daffodils, I love the fireside when all the lights are low. Boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada.
And now they're going to sing it as a round for us so we can hear how this works as a round.
Boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada. I love the mountains, I love the rolling hills, I love the fountains, I love the daffodils, I love the firesides, I love the daffodils, I love the fireside when all the lights are low. Boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada. I love the mountains, I love the rolling hills, I love the fountains.
Get the idea. It's very addictive. You could listen to that all day long, but you could have it stuck in your brain at 2 o'clock in the morning as well, just like I do. But you get the idea. There's so many options here. But I think if you're struggling with that with the older kids in terms of breaking up into parts, I think also a lot of kids sometimes when they don't want to sing, I think it's not always. I realize there are some, issues beyond that, but I think sometimes is that the material or the way the material is being presented or the level of the material is too difficult. If you're at a new school and you have 4th grade and they are just not experienced in some of these earlier activities, it's a lot to ask for them to do some of these later activities, right? So start where they're at. Pick age appropriate stuff, pick age appropriate topics that get them excited. We're all teachers, we know that, but that's an important piece. So I want to move on here because I've got a few more minutes to just address a few things. So one of the new things here I've discovered on Musicplay is recorder baseball. So if you do recorder, this is a lot of fun. I'm gonna tell you about this. First of all, as far as the rules go, it's typical rules. It's 3 strikes, you're out. And the boys and girls, they have to go ahead, they have to play a pattern on their recorder. You can choose the notes you want, B-A-G, B-A-G-E, however you want to do that. The students can choose a single or a double. If they choose a single, it's 1 4-beat measure. If it's a double, I believe it's 2 4-beats measures. If the kids get it correct for the single, they get to go 1 bass. If they get it for the doubles, they get to go 2 bases, and then anyone else on bass already would go that far. It's each team can score up to 5 runs in an inning, similar to Little League. One modification that I have made is I let each kid not get 3 strikes to an out. I don't let them go that far because, in my opinion, it just takes too long. I let each kid get a chance, 1 strike, and then if they don't get it, they're out. I try to infuse success by reviewing the patterns before and reviewing the notes well before we play. And you can play as little as 1 inning. You don't have to go a whole game. So this is what it looks like really quickly. And here I have links on the handout as far as tips and also how to play. So I'm going to skip that really quickly. We're going to go 1 inning. I'm going to be the blue team. I'm going to pick heads. Let's see what happens. Yay, I start. Okay, I go ahead. Here's batter up. I'm going to do a single. Here's my pattern. I play AABG. I got it. Yes, hit. Okay, right. And if I do that, you can see how it moves, etc., etc. Okay, I'm going to move beyond this because I want to show you a variation on this, because you can play with this later. The variation is that I like to do, and I've tried, is rhythm baseball. Same rules, but using different music playing materials. Not all of us teach recorder. Okay. And by the way, I can't see why you couldn't do recorder baseball, but do it with, say, xylophones. Now, they wouldn't be manipulating the correct fingering for, say, a recorder, but they would have to read the melodies. So there's value in that. Or if you have little keyboards they can sit with, or however you want to do it. But this is one variant on it. And by the way, this is the thing I love about Musicplay is you can make it your own, right? You can modify, you can be flexible with it. And sometimes the kids will come up with even good ideas. So rhythm baseball, this is what I do. I go ahead and I pick I go to rhythm practice and I choose a rhythm that I want to work on. So let's say this is 2nd grade. I have quarters, I have 2/8, I have a quarter rest, and I have a half note. Half note, I'll usually introduce maybe first, second quarter, something like that. For definitely the first half of the year, probably before American Thanksgiving in November. And I, by the way, the song I love to do this with is Tony Chestnut. This is one of my favorite songs. So we know this. So here's what I do. I go ahead and I open up 2 tabs. I open up 1 tab at the level 5 rhythm practice. Right? There's all these different things. Here's the 4-beat flashcards. So I open those. And then down below, all the way at the bottom, there are some rhythm reading assessments that are 8 beats. Where are they? There it is. So those I use as sort of my 8-beat flashcards, or my 2 4-beat measures, right? So so if I go back, I'm rushing a little bit. Let me slow down. If I go back, this would be for my single. This would be for my double. Now, I'm not going to use the recorder baseball game in the sense because it's not going to work. I'm just going to have this open and this open. I'm going to tell the kid or say to the child, which one would you like? They tell me, and then I just keep score on my whiteboard. That's all I do. And if they, at the outs and the strikes, and I do the 5 innings, I do the same thing. And then they can clap the rhythm, they can say the rhythm, they could go ta ta ta, they could go ta ta ta, however you want to slice it. And that's a very accessible thing. You could do that as young as, I think, really 1st grade, or even perhaps the end of kindergarten with just ta and tt. So that could be a lot of fun. And again, I would practice ahead of time. So some things I might do, some rhythm play-alongs. I might do some poison rhythms, which are right here. If you've never done poison rhythm, you truly haven't experienced all there is to experience in elementary music education. The kids love it. And quite frankly, I think I love it more than the kids. So those are just some of those. Lastly, I want to end tonight by showing you something that really appeals to accessibility. So here's the thing. You can go to that later. I'm just gonna go here. You know, the beautiful thing about music, and I don't think it's cliche, is to say that music is really for everyone. I have my regular Gen Ed K through 5 kids. I have some kids who are in what we call a varying exceptionalities class that are integrated into that class. I have 3 classes that are ASD classes, autism spectrum, that are non-integrated, that come to me separate. I have a K1, a 2, 3, and a 4, 5. But I really believe my goal in life is to bring joy through music to all of the little humans, K through 5, that I teach. And I'm going to use this example of Canoe Song. I love this song. Canoe Song is a great song because there's so many things you can do with it. I use it to emphasize or to teach the ti-ta-ti rhythm to my older kiddos. I've used it for recorder. I've used it for guitar. There's a nice little Orff arrangement here. But at its most basic, here is something that I do with my with those boys and girls, my special friends who are in those ASD units. And I just take a contrabass bar. It's a 1-note chord. I think I did it in D. I think that's a D contrabass bar here with my friends. And here we are, and we're keeping the steady beat, and they love this. They feel successful. They feel empowered, I think. And there's also the social skills of passing that mallet off appropriately to their friends. So let's just end with this little nugget of joy today before we get into our Q&A.
My paddles keen and bright, flashing with silver, follow the wild goose flight, dip, dip, and swing. Dip, dip, and swing her back, flashing with silver, swift as the wild goose flies, dip, dip, and swing. Nice job. Can you give that to Aiden, please? Okay. All right, Aiden, can you walk on over? Stand on up for me. Aiden, can you walk on over? Okay, I guess we're gonna crawl today. Okay, here we go. My paddles keen and bright, flashing with silver, follow the wild goose flight, dip, dip, and swing. Dip, dip, and swing her back, flashing with silver, swift as the wild goose flies, dip, dip, and swing.
So those are my most dear of friends right there. So I just, I want to thank you for coming today and taking this time during a busy time of the year. For those of you who are still in school, I'm going to stop my share now. Just lift this up a little bit here. And we're done. But we're not done, right? So thank you again. And let me see if there are any questions that I can answer.
Yeah. Excuse me. Wow. Hi. Yeah, thank you so much, David. I have a couple of questions here for you. One from the chat earlier with The More We Get Together. They ask with the boom whackers, are the boom whackers supposed to play on beat 1 while the rhythm sticks play the rhythm on the play along for The More We Get Together?
Yes. And if you have the time, that actually, of course, is the strong beat. So you could go back at the very beginning and perhaps front load that with the concept of beat 1 being the strongest. But yes, beat 1 it is. And I will admit that when I started it, I literally showed 1, 5, 1. And I like this because it looks like Roman numeral 5. So I did front load it with that. And then eventually I pulled it away a little and they started to hear it. Because you have to give that support for them for anybody. You have to give the scaffold and then eventually you pull it away. It's like taking the training wheels off.
All right, wonderful. Just a couple here. What grade do you introduce tonic and dominant?
So for me, that would have been right about 4th or 5th grade. It's a later lesson. And again, the concept of tonic and dominant as like, freshman theory 101 doesn't really enter my mind. I want them to get I want them to more know that piece more as sort of background. Like, by the way, you're a big kid now, so I want to show you what it is this really is. But my sort of modus operandi is to get those kids to listen and to hear, because I'm building musicians, right? I mean, that's part of my job. I'm also creating, happy human beings who are going to go out in this world. But there is a little bit of, I'd really like to have those kids go on and play in band and orchestra and chorus and jazz band and rock band and all that stuff when they get to middle school and beyond.
Awesome, lovely. I have sort of a clarification question myself. Well, and for anyone else maybe who needs some clarity on this, can you explain a little bit more what spiraling means for some of our attendees who maybe don't use that terminology?
So to spiral is to build upon. So when year 1, it's, if you could think of layering, that might be a better descriptive word. So take the more we get together, because that was the example that I used today. So the first piece is, let's learn the song. The second piece is, let me give you that feeling of triple meter. Then it's, you're going to go out and create that. Then you've had it. You've got that sense. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the boom whackers in on beat 1, which is the strong beat. We're going to add the harmonic element to it. We're going to bring back the rhythm element. Now, we didn't specifically talk rhythm up to this point, but there've been a ton of other activities that we've done. I'm sure that, we do rhythm play alongs all the time. We do like tan titi and all that, all the time. And we're going to bring that into as a piece of it. So it's just layering and it's reviewing in new ways, because you've got to have lots and lots and lots of experiences to really understand. I think in the state of Florida, I may be incorrect about this, but I think the kids have to have a 90-minute reading block every day. And that can be reading, writing, whatever, 90-minute reading block. I see my kids, and I consider myself fortunate. I see them once every 5 days for 50 minutes, 50. So any opportunity that I have to reintroduce and reapply, I'm going to grab onto that, because I would do that anyway, I would think. Good teachers do that. We try to do that for our kids, but I don't have a 90-minute reading block every day. I don't have a 90-minute rhythm block every day. I don't have a 90-minute recorder block or a music block every day.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. I don't currently actually have any more questions sitting in the chat. In case anyone does have any last minute questions, feel free to toss them in there. But I do want to give a shout out to somebody who will hear this when they watch the recording, who actually joined us today from Dublin, Ireland. And they left a little early because it's, of course, quite a big time difference there. But they just wanted to say a thank you internationally
And I
for your
bet
session.
you're gonna have the most beautiful camping experience in Ireland. I can't imagine. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, don't see any more questions here or on YouTube. So in that case, unless there's anything else that you would like to add, thank you so much for your presentation, your Wednesday webinar. It was fantastic. You even taught me a couple things, which is awesome. Little things here and there. So yes, again, thank you, Dr. Katz, for joining us today. And for those of you who are wondering about our next webinar Wednesday, we actually do have one next Wednesday as well at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time or 4:30 p.m. UK time. So we hope to see you there, and have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at the email in the hand.